How's it going, Golden Hurricane family? My name is Trenton, and welcome back to another episode of Common Conversations. Once again, really fun athletics episode this week. We are going to be talking to the man himself, head football coach Trey Lamb. Let's get into it. All right, Coach Lamb, welcome to Common Conversations. Thank you so much for joining us. How's the summer going?
It's hot.
It's hot.
We've been trying to go in the afternoon some, but you know, some of these extreme heat temperatures, we've been going in the morning as well. But the guys have been working hard. You know, we've had the whole team up here for the last 8 weeks, ready to get training camp started, and a little over a month away from our home opener against Oklahoma State.
Nice. I'm pumped. Right here in Chapman Stadium. Going to be an awesome environment.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's going to be cool for our players.
Yes, sir. Very nice. Well, you're headed into season 2 here. What have you most enjoyed about here in your time at Tulsa?
Yeah, I love the city, man. It's very underrated. I'm from the Southeast, and people ask me, like, what is compared to? Is it the Midwest? Is it the Southeast? What's the size of it, man? It's like a perfect blend of both. And I got a young family, and we love it here. We live in South Tulsa, and made great friends. It's a really good community. It's safe. I have absolutely no complaints. It's my favorite place in my coaching journey that we have lived, and it's really not close. Yeah.
So I'm originally from Kansas, but then I've lived here for 6 years now, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great place. And I mean, I love campus, university. It's beautiful. It's really, you know, it's small, it's quaint. Our players like it. You know, they feel like they're welcome. They feel like they know their professors. It's different, it's unique, but there's a lot of positive to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so speaking of which, so we're the smallest FBS school in the nation, and I feel like a lot of people hear that and they think of a lot of different pros and cons. Can you talk about some of the pros of actually being a coach or a player for the smallest FBS school in the nation?
Yeah, I think we still value education, and in today's college football, there's a lot of players that are being compensated and aren't going to class, and everything's online. And you know, we're pretty upfront in recruiting. Like, we're not going to be there. You're going to go to class. You're going to be in a classroom with 12 or 15 people. The professor's going to know your name. Coach Lamb's going to know when you're late. Coach Lamb's going to make you run when you're late, or you're not going to class. And it kind of takes our recruiting pool from here to here as to who we can recruit. But it also, our kids are smart, and they want to be here. They're compelled. You can do more in the X's and O's world because, like, our kids are smart.
So now you've probably answered so many questions about this, but the big talk of the offseason was the portal house. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What came to be about that? And then maybe some of the guys you got out of that portal house.
Yeah, you know, we only had to take about 26 transfers this year, which was a low number in college football. We invested a lot in our returners, our guys that are coming back, and
great.
You know, really want to keep some continuity on our roster. But
it's awesome.
You know, our idea behind the portal house was, you know, if you don't know, there's a 2-week window in January, a 14-day window that a guy can go in the transfer portal, communicate with other colleges, and then go to enroll in another school in January. So it's a very tight window. It's 14 days straight of bringing guys in on visits, taking them to campus, visiting with their parents, visiting with their agents for 24 hours, making a decision, and then they either go to the next school or they sign the paperwork. So our idea was, let's get everybody under one roof so we can make decisions quickly. You know, like if we're taking a running back from Idaho, he decides he wants to take a visit. All right, let's bring him in. All right, he doesn't commit. All right, next one's coming in from Auburn, let's say, okay? Well, we can make those decisions in real time under one roof. And then the second piece of it was cool. Like, they got to see Midtown. They got to see Brookside. They got to see areas of Tulsa that we really wanted to show off, as well as bringing them to campus. But we were able to have dinners at night. We had catering brought in. It was just a different approach. Like, everybody complains about today's college athletics. Like, if you don't adapt and you don't do things different, like how is Tulsa going to win? Like, we have to be different.
Got to be different. I love that, Coach. That's awesome right there. So speaking of this year's team, the new season is coming up quick. You know, I mean, this summer flew by. What has you excited about this year? And then can you give us a little preview of this year's team?
Yeah, I think we got more speed and more experience. You know, we were a really young team last year. We only had 12 guys on our roster from last year that had ever experienced a winning season in college football. And this year we have close to 30, you know, bringing in transfers and retaining some guys on our current roster. I think we're going to have more speed. You know, we're one of the few teams that bring back a lot of offense coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams coordinator, quarterback, strength coach. Like, continuity was big for me in year 2. The first year you're trying to get your feet on the ground and, you know, trying to see, okay, how does this work? How does nutrition work? How do I need to fix the weight room? How do I need to fix, you know, whatever, compliance? Like, that's kind of what the first year's about. Second year's about, all right, let me stop micromanaging. Let me let people do their jobs. Let me coach the team. And I think we're going to see the benefits of it.
We kind of talked about it a little bit. We love some golf here.
Yeah.
Is there a golf course in the area that you love, or just in general that you love? Doesn't have to be in the Tulsa area.
Yeah, it's a great city for golf. I've made a lot of friends, and I played golf probably with 90% Tulsa alums. Even a lot of football alums out at Cedar Ridge. And, you know, I like to get out 30, 40 times a year. I think I played 39 times this year from January to football season. That's, you know, once a week during the off season is good for me. Kind of helps me clear my head and gives me some time away. Tulsa men's golf, by the way, shout out Brandon Wilkins bringing the team back. They're going to be good, man. I followed some of those transfers they're bringing in. I can't wait to watch those guys.
Is there any specific, well, you kind of gave it right there, but is there any specific Tulsa events or athletic events outside of football season that you're looking forward to?
I'm excited for softball, man. I think we invest in softball with DJ, new softball coach, man. Like, what an area for softball. This is like the best softball in the country. My cousin played softball at Georgia, UGA, and you know, I followed college softball. I think it's fun. I've been to the World Series in Oklahoma City. I think softball could really take off here. You know, I think all our sports are trending in the right direction with Justin.
I completely agree.
But like, softball could really be special with the recruiting base and kind of the location we're at. It's important out here. And golf, like, what a city for golf. I'm excited for men's golf. Women's golf has won 2 championships in a row. So I think we can get good at golf, football, basketball. You know, we're already good at volleyball. Softball is going to come along. Like, there's a lot to like.
Oh, there's a lot to like. I completely agree. I feel like we're entering a very good age of Tulsa athletics right now. I completely agree with you. Sweet. Well, a couple more questions. First off, first home game, first game of the season here at H.A. Chapman Stadium, Oklahoma State, September 5th. Can you preview that game a little bit for us?
Yeah, got to be a packed stadium. There's going to be just as much orange as there is blue. That's just part of it with their alumni base and demographics and a lot of Tulsa people that are OSU grads. But it's going to be a war, man. We beat them last year. They're going to look different. They're going to be better, but we're also going to be better. We get them at home, which I think is a big deal. All the pressure's on them, right? They're supposed to win. We're little brother to them, and you know, we're punching up a little bit, but you never know, man. It's football. You got to put the ball down and go play. But I'm excited to watch our kids compete.
Sweet, very nice. All right, we always like to wrap it up with, I mean, hopefully we've had some fun questions during this, but we always like to wrap it up with a fun question that we've given every guest. Can you give the people with your platform a book, movie, or music recommendation, or all 3? Your call.
Right now, I know every Forrest Frank song by heart because my girls are 7 and 5. We went to a Forrest Frank concert at the OK.
Awesome.
A couple months ago.
Awesome.
And it was freaking awesome. And he's a young Christian artist. And, my girls love him. And, I mean, he's got good music, man. Like, he's pretty fun to watch. Let's see, movie. I'm a football nerd, so Remember the Titans is like my go-to.
Okay.
It's corny in parts, but look, it's got a great message. I was lucky enough to meet the real Herman Boone one day, and what a great story that is.
Alrighty, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Common Conversations. Big thanks to Coach Trey Lamb for joining us. And once again, as always, make sure you guys are followed up to date on all social media platforms so that you guys can see more of this awesome content. Until next time, Rain Cane.
Rain Cane, get your season tickets.